6 through 26. And as theologians would say that I will be concerned topic. My topic for this morning is, where is the water? Where's the water? Water is a very necessary part of life. The human body is made largely of water and needs a steady amount of it to survive. The earth is covered by more than 70% of water. The flowers, plants, and trees need water to grow and survive. How many people have ever received a half-dead plant, watered it, loved it, talked to it, and nurtured it, replanted it, and it rebloomed? Then others do the same, and the plant dies. Well, folks, some folks call that habit a brain bump. Flowers and plants get dry leaves, and trees turn. Farmers' crops start to die. But as soon as the flowers and the plants receive water, they begin to flourish and bloom. The farmer's crops begin to grow when it receives water. Everything needs water to survive, including us. We, or humans, can live for months without solid food, but we perish after only a few days without water. You know, when it's hot outside, you get hot and bothered, no air, no breeze, and you're thirsty. You drink Kool-Aid, soda, iced tea, lemonade, but you're still thirsty. Nothing seems to quench your thirst until you get that glass of cold water. And then, until you get that glass of cold water, and then you're full. Isn't it funny how one glass of cold water can quench your thirst? I also understand that a lot of people don't like water, but it's a necessity. Not drinking water, you can get sick. Like the flowers and the plants, if they don't receive water and sunshine, they die. If we don't receive the proper amount of water, we can become dehydrated and die. We use water for everything. To bathe so we don't smell and be dirty. To wash our clothes so we can have clean undergarments and clothes to wear. To wash the dishes we eat out of. To clean our houses and our food so we don't get sick. And to cook, clean our meats and vegetables. To wash our animals, and the list go on and on and on. So you see, water is a necessity of our everyday life. So my question to you this morning is, where's the water? In the book of John, the 8 miracles are recorded, although Jesus did many other miraculous signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not recorded in this book. But these are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. So again, I ask the question, where's the water? My text this morning comes from John 4. It's a story about a Samaritan woman encountering Jesus at the well. So let me give you a little background on the Samaritan woman. She was from the region of Samaria, the location of the Samaritan community. The region lies between Judea in the south and Galilee in the north. The Samaritan woman apparently lived in or near Sychar, a village near Shechem, and close to a field Jacob gave to Joseph. And you can read that in the book of Genesis, 33rd chapter, 18 to 20, and John, the 4th chapter, the 5th verse. For this reason, she is sometimes called the woman of Sychar. Opinions differ on the actual name and location of the village. However, no no dispute exists about the location of Jacob's well on which the people in the Shechem vicinity relied for their water supply. The well was located near the foot of Mount Gershon, and it was the center of Samaritan worship. However, both the well and Mount Gershon are important to the story of the Samaritan woman. Jesus met her at the well. For this reason, she is also often called the woman at the well. Now, this Samaritan woman comes to the well because wells were always located outside of the city along the main road. Twice a day, morning and evening, women would come down to draw water. But the Samaritan woman would come at noon, the hottest time of the day. Why? Glad you asked. You see, the Samaritan woman belonged to a people of mixed marriages between Jews and the Babylonians. This situation came about after the fall of the northern kingdom, when thousands of Israelites were deported into exile, and the Babylonian colonists came into central Palestine around 721 BC, which is before Christ. The Samaritan and the Jews built separate places for the worship of God. The Samaritans believed themselves to be descendants of those whom Moses had instructed to pronounce the blessings of God on the mountain. And you can read that in Deuteronomy 26, 1-26. The Jews believed Solomon had been commissioned to build a true place of worship in Jerusalem. And that's in 1 Kings 5th chapter, 7th verse. Continuing differences in beliefs about worship and political discord led to all-point enmity between the Jews and the Samaritans. The Jews considered the Samaritans foreigners and enemies. They typically avoided traveling through Samaria. No Jewish man would speak to a Samaritan, nor would he drink from a Samaritan's cup. So, church, why was Jesus in Samaria? Especially since it would have been politically feasible for him to avoid. But I'm glad you asked that question. Jesus had no reason to live by such cultural restrictions. This route through Samaria was shorter, and that was the route he took. What was Jesus doing at Jacob's well? Well, my Bible says that Jesus was tired from the journey, and that he sat down by the well. When the Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" The Samaritan woman said, "You are a Jew, and I'm a Samaritan. How can you ask me for a drink?" Remember, y'all, the woman is a Samaritan, a member of the hated mixed race. Second, she was known to be living in sin. And third, was in a public place. No respectable Jewish man would talk to a woman under such circumstances. But Jesus did. So I have a question. Remember, Jesus asked for a drink. So where's the water? The conversation continues on. And Jesus said, "You don't know what God has for you, or who is asking for the drink." Now watch how the discussion switches from Jesus asking for a drink to becoming this woman's help. Jesus goes on to say, if you did not know, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. I figured this confused the woman. And she said, "Hold up. Wait a minute. You don't even have anything to draw the water with. Plus, the well is deep." Then the Samaritan woman starts asking Jesus a series of questions. Was she being sarcastic when she asked, "Where can I get this living water you keep bragging about? Give me this water so I don't get thirsty and have to keep coming out in this hot sun every day to draw water." This woman mistakenly believed that if she received the water Jesus offered, she would not have to return to the well each day in this scorching hot sun. She was interested in Jesus' message because she thought it would make her life easier. But don't we all do that? Accept Christ's message for the wrong reasons?
Wow.
We think it's to benefit and make our lives easier and better. Christ did not come to take away challenges, but to change us on the inside and to empower us to deal with problems from God's perspective. The woman did not immediately understand what Jesus was talking about. It takes time to accept that changes the very foundation of your life. Jesus allowed the woman to ask questions and put the pieces together for herself. And he does that same for us. Sharing the gospel will not always have immediate results. When you ask people to let Jesus change their lives, give them time to weigh the matter. Don't pressure them. Don't beat them over the head with the Bible. The discussion continued, and Jesus became personal and asked the Samaritan woman a question and told her about her life. When the woman discovered that Jesus knew all about her private life, she quickly changed the subject. Often people become uncomfortable when the conversation is too close to home, and they try to talk about something else. But I like the way Jesus closes the discussion. The woman said, I know the Messiah called Christ is coming, and when he does, he will explain everything Jesus declared he didn't say. Jesus declared he didn't say I am. He said, I declare. When you declare something, it means to proclaim, to announce, to state, to express, to publicize, to say something in a solemn and empathetic manner. So Jesus let me know, I declare, I who speak to you am he. The gospel of Jesus ministered beyond the boundaries of acceptable social convention. His outreach extended beyond geographical cultures and gender barriers. It extended from chosen people to rejected people, from likely people to unlikely people, from men to women. His ministry was to all. Consequently, he journeyed through rather than around enemy territory. And what he had to do, the power of Jesus to change the lives of people when they heed his request to respond to his presence. Talk with him and come to know and believe who he is. Moreover, it is a self-propelling need of people who knew and believed Jesus to tell somebody else. I want you to know what happened to me. In this way, they become witnesses for Jesus. As we witness, we should gently guide the conversation back to Christ. His presence exposes sin and makes people squirm, but only Christ can forgive sin and give you life. The gospel is for every person, no matter what his or her race, social position, or past sins. We must be prepared to share the gospel at any time and in any place. Jesus crossed all barriers to share the gospel, and we who follow him must do no less. So again, I ask you, where's the water? Where's the water? Is it in the well? Is it in you? Is it in me? Or is it in Jesus Christ? John 6:35 says, I am the bread of life. He that cometh to me shall never hunger, and he that believeth on me shall never thirst. John 7:37-38 says, if any man is thirsty, let him come unto me and drink. He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow living rivers of living water. So again, I ask you, Where's the water? The water is Jesus Christ. He is the living water. He has a river of life flowing out of him. Makes the blind to see and the lame to walk. Heals the sick and raises the dead. So again, I ask you, where's the water? Do you know the water? This morning, I challenge you to find out where's the water.
Amen.
Where's the water?